I really spent $500,000 on the house for granted. I'm really out here dancing. I'm really not romantic. I really got that patty. Hey, I really know it's Eddie.
Yo, man, welcome back. It's season 4, first smoke of the day. It's your boy Pat God's here. I'm here with my co-host Black Leaf in the building. Man came suited up this season. He's not playing around.
This is an important event right here. This is the opener of season 4. I've been waiting for this. I know you guys have, and I've been waiting for this guest. We had him on the list in season 1.
Yeah, when we came up with this idea, we wanted to do this, and this is episode 38. We got my man Serge from Fiore on this bitch. We're happy to have you here, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
How are you, bro?
I'm good, man. Blessed.
Yeah, and we're in this location right here today. We're at the
bro.
Hype House here in Hollywood. You may have seen this house on a few YouTube videos, and we'll clip some stuff together. You already know, but man, we're here today to talk about Fiore, the beginnings, the ends, right now, everything going on, all this dope product on the table. And thank you for coming through, man.
Thank you guys for having me, man.
And just to like lay it out, we've actually had your brothers on already, Gas No Breaks and Fidel. If you haven't seen those episodes, check those out, because the three of you, I mean, 3 cannabis brothers running LA, cannabis scene, like, I mean, all from different angles too, kind of.
Yeah,
Dope, bro. Dope.
We all started out, you know, at different times, but yeah, me and Gas No Breaks kind of started out during the same era. Yeah, he gave me my lane, man. He definitely taught me a lot in the game. He showed me the ropes. So shout out to Big Bro.
Yeah, you already know.
And Lil Bro, man.
Yeah, no, for real. And I didn't know about the full story until we had Fidel on. And that was episode 5. He was one of the, first people that came through. You guys had just went on a trip to Hawaii, and I thought you guys were just all homeboys.
Yeah,
Honest
I
to
know.
God.
We get that a lot.
You know what I mean? Honest to God, truth. I was like, damn, that's dope. They're close ass homeboys. Like, they rock together. Like, that's fine. And then Fidel was like, no, we're brothers. And I was like, what? Like, that, damn, that's
doper.
crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to know you guys all got your own thing going on, but you're working together and you're brothers, it's just a dope thing to.
It's a blessing,
man,
for
to
real.
see, bro, in the game, for real.
Yeah.
And you guys are holding down Cookies Maywood. Shout out to Cookies
sir.
Maywood.
Yes, sir.
You boys are holding that shit down, dope events. You guys are always innovating and pushing. I know bro is always thinking ahead, both your brothers and you definitely.
Yeah.
So
You're the landmark cookies.
We're real growers, smokers, real culture heads, so it's only right.
man,
You can tell.
talk to us about the beginnings and shit, man. Like, the beginnings of time of cannabis and how that came into your life, or was an older bro kind of introducing you, or how did it unfold
Cannabis, how it came in my life, I think, growing up in LA and going to public schools and shit, it was like they teach you about it at DARE, and then little by little you see homies pop up, like little knucklehead homies pop up. Yeah, and that's how I got introduced to it. I pulled up to 6th grade one day, and it was like a minimum day. One of my homies had a sack with him, and he's like, "Yo, let's dip out and let's ditch school and go fucking blaze a sack." And he showed me a little sack. It was in those like mini little Ziploc bags. It was a gram of chronic, so we just dipped out, made a pipe out of foil, and smoked. I don't know if, I probably didn't inhale right. The pipe wasn't made right, but I didn't really get faded. A couple of my other homies did. They went home and they fell asleep. I thought they died. I was like calling to check up on them. His mom was like, "Yo, why do you keep calling?" I was like, "Nothing. I just want to kick it." Like a day later, dude wakes up. I was like, "Dog, what happened to you?" He's like, "That shit was strong." I was like, "I didn't even feel anything." So after that, I went home, and I kind of see my dad in the corner taking a hit out of his pipe, and I was like, "What the fuck? It smells like weed. I think my pops is smoking weed." So I watch him. He goes to his little cabinet and he puts it right there, and I let him go back to the couch, and I go snooping in the cabinet, and I open it up. He had it in a little film canister. I popped it open, and it was some bud. I closed it up. I was like all spooked. I didn't want him to catch me. Like fast forward a year later in like 7th grade, my homies like talking about, you know, smoking bud and like getting bud. I was like, man, I think I could get you some bud. I was gonna pinch Pops' sack. So yeah, dude, fucking he's like, how much does your dad have? I was like, he's got a lot, bro. I was like, he probably has an ounce. I was like, he keeps it in a little film container. He's like, bro, he can't put an ounce in there. He's like, but bring me some. Let me check it out. So pinched Pop's sack and fucking went back to school, and I smoked. That was the first time I really got high, because we went across the street. We had hopped a fence to get out of school, and I couldn't hop the fence to come back to school. I was high, bro. I was just sitting outside across the street. Fucking
That's
like,
awesome.
thinking about what the fuck I just did. But yeah, that was like kind of the early days.
Wow.
Couldn't get back in that day.
I couldn't get back in that day, bro.
What'd
I
you do,
just
just go
waited
home?
outside. Nah, I was
you waited to
stuck,
get picked
bro.
up?
I couldn't walk. I couldn't do shit,
That was
bro.
it.
I was like really high.
Till nightfall or what?
No, like until after school, until like
You know
everybody
what?
got
like
out.
getting high young outside is like pretty fucking intense your first couple times. Like if you're in nature and shit,
Oh yeah,
like it's I think that it like makes it a little more intense.
It's
for
like
sure.
putting crazy glasses on. Like
Yeah.
everything's like
you feel kind of drunk, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like
a little bit of a haze around the outsides of the view too, and
Yeah.
a lot of giggles. I remember a ton of giggles. You know,
Well, shit, man. What was going to high school in LA like?
it was cool. I mean, you know, you're exposed to a lot of shit. A lot of, you know, back in that era, there was a lot of gangs.
yeah.
What years we talking? What years were you in high school?
I was in high school in 2000. I would have been in class of 04.
So you're an '80s baby.
I'm an 80s baby, 86. Yeah. 86, still in the mix, baby.
I like that. I like that. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And so gangs, weed. I mean, a lot of bad influences, a lot of good influences.
No, but
Celebrities?
what was your school?
Yeah.
What was your school like? Like, what was it? What area? The Valley?
My freshman year, 9th grade, I was in Hoover High School in Glendale. And
Okay.
then I moved to Santa Clarita. I was in high school for about another year before I got kicked out. It was just like a new scene, new crowd. I didn't know too many people. I was like bumping heads with a lot of people, you know,
Yeah.
just being a fresh kid over there. So, but my sophomore year, I ended up, you know, just asking people around like, yo, I need to connect for bud. I'm new around here. And this chick that she actually like DM'd me like not too long ago. Like she plugged me with some grower back in the day. And like, I would cop like ounces and, you know, go sell it to my homies in Glendale and come back. And like ever since high school, I've always been like, you know, selling bud, whether it was just to like, you know, get some free smoke or, you know,
Yep.
earn a little bit of cash. But
You remember what
Yeah.
strains it was you were picking up right then when that like homegrown shit, when it was first coming through?
it was like chronic back then, like before, like, you know, we were like strains were popping and stuff, or before I knew what a strain was. There was stress, the
Okay.
Mexican brickweed, and then there was chronic, and then shortly after there was the OG Kush, and then right after that era, like my older brother got his doctor's prescription, and the whole medical scene opened up to me, you know. So he would go in at first and he would do all the shopping. I'd be like, damn, what do they have in there, bro? And he would like describe everything. I'd be like, fuck, I wish I could go in.
You're talking gas, no brakes.
Gas, no
Okay,
brakes, bro.
okay.
Yeah. So it was a trip though. Like at first, like I tried to hide it from him that I even smoked. And then like one day, you know, we smoked together. And then after that, like it was on and popping.
That's dope. So not a lot of like Dutch strains to start. Like it wasn't like, oh, here's White Widow and here's because like a lot of people you hear, oh, it was all these Dutch strains, you know, in the beginning, but it was more like OG Kush was like the real wave when it first came through.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like yeah, OG
Cali
Kush,
wasn't on that Dutch stuff as much.
OG Kush, yeah, like at first it was just chronic. You know, anything that was just not stress was chronic.
So maybe that was some Dutch, but who knows what it was. Yeah. I mean, dude, and the OG was like the wave, huh?
The
that
OG,
took over.
like it's still like, you know, like that old school gassy, piney fucking, and it leaves like a buttery ass residue on your fingers.
Hard
that
to
shit was
grow.
like 25 a gram all the way up. $75 for like 3 grams. You weren't getting no breaks. Doesn't matter how much you were buying. That's, you know, that's what it was.
That's incredible.
Oh,
25 a gram.
Let's get it.
Exactly.
Those were the days, though, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to the Venice doctor and got, you know, played Ring Around the Rosie with some shops and found a cool little spot a couple times with our medical cards.
Really
And
crazy.
it's dope, man. I mean, that was the introduction for everyone, really, for US, you know, stateside, I feel like. And then Colorado, obviously. You know what I mean?
It was different out here though than anywhere.
Yeah. No,
The
yeah,
vibe
yeah,
was
yeah.
so
The vibe is
different.
way more open.
You
Way
had
more
celebrities
open.
and shit going to your high school as well? Was that?
Nah, not really.
It was just real people.
Yeah.
This guy loves movies and shit. He's
I just
He's trying
asked.
to- he's like,
You
man.
grew up in
You
Hollywood.
guys,
man,
well,
you-
you guys
you
are
grew up
from
in Hollywood,
Florida,
bro.
bro, right?
you grew up in Hollywood, man.
Nah. I ain't no little city boy. Nah, but it's interesting because you're in the mix. You're in the mecca of weed, the mecca of like so many different industries. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I was in Santa Clarita. It's like, you know, the outskirts of LA County.
Yeah,
It's a dope little
Yeah.
area.
yeah, straight up. Especially right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Gas No
more
Brakes was
chill.
always a bad influence or what?
I think
Yeah,
I
what-
was a bad
What was it like having
influence
him
on
as a
him.
big bro, man?
Rough, bro. But you know what?
Was
Like,
he
as
was he
far-
hard on you?
Like me and him would always have fights, fist fights.
I can see that, bro.
We always bumped heads. But throughout all those years, like I got to know like how his mind operates, right? And then I got to know his thought process. I was like, all right, I get it.
So you just learned his system.
I learned a lot from him, man. Like he's
Yeah.
a hell of a businessman.
No, he
you
is.
know, and he's
He
got a
is.
discipline.
He does.
In the early days when we first started, he went away for a while. So I got to give you the whole story, man. So
Yeah,
He-
so we were at high school, graduate, you know, what's popping?
so already in like early in high school, as soon as I moved to Santa Clarita, I was already like, you know, buying like quarter pounds and this and that and finding bag seed. And I was popping bag seeds. I was already doing a whole bunch of bad shit. Fucking,
So you were growing.
I was growing. I was on like THC Farmer, learning ways
Yup,
how to
on the
grow and
farms.
shit. And I popped, like I germinated a couple of seeds and then I put them into the dirt. I was like fucking fascinated, you know, with the whole process. I was like, damn, I just got this seed out of the sack. It can't be like, man, like imagine like what I could grow, you know? So I start doing my research, you know, all right, 12-12 is flower, 18-6 is veg, you know, learn about nutrients, media, light cycles, you know, filtered water, non-filtered water and all this shit. And I was just a kid at the time. Like I was on the forum and I would hear like some dude was on his street and they're barely developing the street and he found some HPS lights and he swooped up one. So I'd be like walking around the neighborhood, like looking for an HPS light I could swoop up on. So yeah,
Way back.
way back.
When people used to climb light poles and steal the bulbs because it was the only way to get HPS bulbs without getting your name on a list and shit.
Yep.
Crazy. Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah. So shortly after that, I got into some trouble. The cops came to my house. They ended up catching me with a little plant in my desk, like behind my drawers. I had a desk lamp
shit.
and I had one plant over there. It was like probably 6 inches tall. It was probably on its like first or second set of leaves. They found out that and a fake ID, and they charged me with 2 felonies.
Oh,
And I went to juvenile hall when I was 15 years old.
Damn. So
in Sylmar.
this is before high school's even up.
Well, like
You're in
right
high
there,
school.
yeah, like between
You're
like,
not even driving.
9th and 10th grade. No, I'm
Yeah.
not driving.
people think weed was cool
No.
in Cali all the time.
No,
you
not
guys,
at all.
you're going
bad,
to
bro.
probation for a plant that wasn't flowering.
How did that go down?
It was fucked up because
They just came in the house, or
Well, I was a fucked up kid, bro. Like before Pops was cool with it, like I would get caught smoking weed and he'd like beat my ass for it. You know, it'd be like, I'd be like, yo, you're a hypocrite. You smoke weed, but you're over here beating my ass for
Right.
smoking weed. So
I think a lot of us went through that. Real
yeah.
shit.
So like I was butting heads with him, and then I think he
Yeah,
just like called the cops on me or some shit. I was a
Yeah.
knucklehead back then, bro.
He was at his breaking point.
yeah.
you
So
probably scared the shit out of him.
Oh,
You-
dude.
it was a wake up call for
You were
me,
gassed,
bro.
bro. You
I
boys
was like,
scared the
I was
shit out of him.
I was like a dumb kid, and the next thing you know, I'm in fucking juvenile hall.
That's crazy.
He didn't know you had all that either. That's fucked up. That's a
Yeah,
fucked up situation.
I was stuck for 30 days. I fought my case.
Wow.
Ended up beating that case though. Not the fake ID because it had my picture, but the weed case,
Yeah.
You weren't
the
really Nick
cultivation
Papa
case.
Giorgio.
Vegas,
right?
Dude, Young Surge beating
That wasn't
cases
really
from
you,
day
bro?
one.
From
Pow,
15,
fuck,
bro. From
we ain't
15.
taking that charge.
Yeah.
Dude, I love it. Beating
So
cases.
throughout my whole life, I've gotten pretty lucky with certain like
Bobbing
cases
and
and stuff,
weaving.
and I've got product back later on in life. That's another story.
Yep. Okay, we can get
Oh,
into
yeah, I
that
was about
later.
to say,
then.
holy hell.
We can get into that later. So, if that's 14 or 15, 16, 17, 18, what's it starting to get like? Are you starting to, you went through that experience. I know that tightens anybody up a little bit right there. Having to sit 30 days, you kind of see, you're like, ooh, you get a little glimpse like, oh, this ain't sweet,
It wasn't sweet. It was like, it was a wake up call, but then I got out and then it kind of like, I went down the wrong path. I went even fucking,
Could happen, yeah.
even worse, bro. I didn't like authority.
Oh.
So I was just selling weed throughout high school, just trying to survive,
Yep.
doing my thing. And then,
Was mom just playing the background with dad or?
yeah, they both kind of worked, long hours, so they weren't there. The only person I had to outsmart was my grandpa, and he was cool with it, bro. Like I was smoking weed around him, and he would always ask me like, "Yo, what is that?" Like, "Yo, it's weed, grandpa." I tell him about it and shit, but yeah, it was interesting.
I remember I know that I think I was like 17, 18. I was just like, my grandma was in there. I was like, I'm going to fire this blunt up.
With her in the room?
No. I was outside and she could see
okay.
through the sliding door. And I was just like, you know what?
Damn. Did she say something?
Yeah, she opened the door up.
What are you doing, boy?
Yeah. And I'm smoking weed. And I was like, this is better than alcohol. There's nothing wrong with this.
You're taking a
And
stand.
and she said, she just sat there and watched me.
And you didn't act all
She
giggly
waited
and
for
silly.
me to see if I was going to act all crazy. And I didn't. And I was like,
That's usually the thing
chill. I was like,
with
look,
family
I'm-
members.
I was maybe laid back probably at the time. I'm young, you know what I mean? Anybody, you're like, but that shit's funny.
Yeah, they want to know if you are messed up about it or what.
Yeah, they want to know if
Yeah.
you're gonna act
They're
crazy.
just
and shit.
curious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
My mom
back in
was
the
the
day,
same.
it was like if
Reefer
you did that,
Madness.
your life is over.
What was Reefer Madness? You're going to go crazy. You're going to be a different person. You might do something violent to yourself or to someone around you. Like all these misconceptions that literally 0% are true. Even around the cancer subject, they can't even prove that it causes cancer. So it's just interesting how, and I feel like growing up on the East Coast and a lot of people from all other states, we think of Cali like, oh, it's weed in Cali. They've always been cool with it. But now you're talking about, dude, you were in probation for a plant, one little plant that wasn't even flowering. That's a felony. That wasn't
Yeah.
even a misdemeanor. It just shows you dude, it's tough.
Yeah.
Then
So-
what? Yeah, I mean, dude.
Yeah, man. It never was how it is today. You know, we had a fight to get here. Everybody did. You know, and it's
Yeah,
been a crazy
100%.
journey.
Not for real. Everyone paved the way in their own way.
Exactly, bro.
So was it just continued smoking, or did you start to grow now? Like when did that?
No, I wanted to grow, so I germinated more seeds, and then there was like a little hillside behind my house, and I popped a couple of plants over there, and I was still in probation and going to like fucking drug programs and all this shit that they had me sign up for. I had harvested these plants outside my house. They were like stunted, you know, they're really short, probably like a single cola. There's like 5 of them. So I chop them, and my dumbass hung them in my room in the closet. Had my fucking dad take me to my drug class. Dude picks me up and with my grandpa, and he's like fucking mad. He's like, I get in the car and he just let me have it. He's like, what the fuck were you doing? He's like, don't you know they'll take our house away for this shit? You're growing weed in our house. He's all, the whole house stinks like weed. I was like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. So we go and fucking dude has all the weed in a Ziploc bag and put me and my brother, because like he's like, I hope you're not in on it. He was telling Gas No Breaks. He's like, I hope you're not in on it with this shit. And he acted like he was gonna throw it away. And
You smoked that shit.
me and Gas No Breaks, we went through the whole fucking trash can, bro. Every bag, like a fucking raccoon, bro. We couldn't find it. And then I started yelling at my mom. I was like, I know he's smoking that shit. Get my weed back. But I got to like pinch it back, you know, like get a little taste of it. It was like the best weed I had smoked at the time. It was real terpy, and it got purple from the cold weather outside. I was just like blown away. I was like, damn, like if I could grow something that dank just from seed, I was like, fuck.
You were risking a lot too, though. You were on probation or on, you know what I'm saying, like that. You were risking a lot from literally day one with the growing thing.
Yeah.
Like if they would have got you at that house while you're going through drug classes, like you're probably going to jail at that point.
Yep.
Whew.
So
Man.
keep it going from there. Where's it go?
So from there, I think I put my parents through enough. They wanted like out. So as soon as I turned 18, they sold the crib and they said they're packing up and going back to Lebanon. Yeah.
Holy
Wow.
shit, man!
So
You boys rent.
That's rough.
You boys.
yeah, we're fucking bad, bro. So they
Man.
dipped out, and me and Gas No Breaks got our own apartment. We had a job like selling pallet racks and shit. That was doing well for us. So we moved in together, and we were bumping heads though. We were really young. You know, we would get into fights and fucking, it wasn't cool. So like at the end of the lease, he ended up dipping out and going back and moving in with my parents in Lebanon. And I kind of thugged it out right here in LA, solo dolo.
No
Damn,
shit.
Yeah.
That's tough, man.
So what'd you do while you were here?
So I was 19. I was just grinding. I actually started doing electrical work. I linked up with a homie that's also in the cannabis game now. His name is Sevon. Dude owns Green Thumbs LA. So that dude, I apprenticed for him learning electrical work, and that fucking like that shit taught me a lot. So for a solid year or two, I did like grunt work, crawling into attics, you know, doing, you know, basic electrical work, changing breakers and shit, and getting the knowledge of everything, you know, how ACs work and all that shit. So that kind of laid the foundational knowledge for me. Later on in life, it was going to become like a very, very valuable tool. So
Absolutely.
I spent a couple of years doing that. And then the whole time I was living with you know, my high school girlfriend, we ended up having a little girl. So I was 20 years old at the time, and that kind of like, you know, really woke me up to like, all right, I'm gonna have to hustle. I gotta stop bullshitting. Not that I was bullshitting, but it got me more focused, you know?
Yeah.
That I got another soul to provide for you know, I got to man up and do this. So like right around that time, my brother came back and
He had been gone like what, a year or more?
like 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. And throughout that, when he came back, like he was selling bud, he got himself an apartment and he was just like, you know, trapping, doing his thing. And then my cousin at the time, like this was in 06, he kind of figured out a way to get a pre-ICO license. So he got a license and his shop was popping. And back then it was based off, his motto for his shop was based off of my homies that came down from Frisco. They would have $45 eighths of like dope ass variety. But then they were like dependent on vendors coming in and, you know, bringing them bud. And sometimes like they would have like really good bud. Sometimes they wouldn't. Depends like if a vendor would show up or not. So they were at the mercy of that market. My brother Gas No Brakes was over there at the shop helping them. They were doing pretty well. And then one day he met a plug out in Humboldt, in Southern Humboldt in Garberville at the shop. And they made a trip out there.
That's a crazy story he tells on the podcast.
Yeah. So after they made that first trip, he came back and he bumped heads with my cousin and stuff. So he ends up leaving the shop and like I had a little bit of money saved up. He's like, yo, you want to make a trip up to Humboldt with me? We could flip that cash real quick. So I was like, fuck, man, I need this shit to get my license reinstated.
Brothers, what are they for?
Yeah. So, yeah, man, he convinced me. He's like, yo, put up this 5K and, you know, we'll flip it real quick. These cool dudes are real cool cat, you know? So we just fucking got in his little fucking Scion and fucking mobbed up to Humboldt, bro. 9 hours straight from LA. Just probably like barely stopped for gas. We had some pre-rolls. We were smoking on the way and shit. It was a cool scenic drive, you know? It got me used to what was to come. It was, you know, we were about to open up a whole portal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we ended up going up to Garberville, meeting some dudes that I'm still cool with, real cool cats, you know. And we just hit it off, bro. We brought down one, turned that into 100, and it was like a weekly thing. Just fucking kept going up and down. I left my job doing electrical work and stuff. I started rolling with bro. We started vending to all the shops that we knew. There was this magazine called the LA Gem, the Journal for Medical Marijuana. So we'd open it up. It was a bunch of ads for 215 shops. And fucking me and bro would hit them up and be like, yo, I'm a vendor. You guys looking for product?
Smart.
Some were like brave. They would be like, all right, what do you got? And fucking you tell them. But like some would be like, all right, just come. And you'd show up. Some would treat you like shit, even though they told you to show up. And fucking some were like fucking, you know, they'd welcome you because like they didn't have no product. So from there, we just, you know, met a lot of people in the industry we still fuck with. That's how I met my partner, Poker Star Edwin. Tuna. I met him at my cousin's shop. He was actually running product for my cousin. Like he would bring product for them too. So every week, like we'd be like a couple of days off. He'd go to Garberville and then he'll be like, yo, it's hot, bro. The feds are flying in and there's like fucking burlaps of weed they're flying off with. Like
holy shit.
The camp fucking raids that they would do. So we just warn each other, like, you know, like, all right, go from here, don't go from there. And then we brought him on board. Well, as we start fucking vending and stuff, I go to this shop called Van Nuys Organic and I met Edwin over there, my partner. And then his partner at the time fucking robbed him of everything and he was new in the industry. He didn't know much. So he hit me up and we laced him with a whole menu. I brought some people to like run his shop and it blew up. So in return for helping him out, he helped me and my brother get a retail location going. So that was
love
our
that,
first
man.
dispensary back in 2009. It was called Sunland Organic. And
What was it again?
Sunland Organic
Sunland
Pharmacy.
Organic Pharmacy.
Yep, SOP. His shop was called Van Nuys Organic, and it was built off the same model: $45 eighths, real compassionate shit. You know, back then there was no taxes. You know, we could have sold eighths for 75 because that's what they were doing at the time. But $45, come in, you'd have a fucking amazing menu to choose from, deli style, of course. You know, and little 700 square foot shop right there on Foothill Boulevard in Sunland. And it blew up, bro. Like, we were doing numbers.
Were you dealing with local growers as well, or was it all source product?
Yeah.
So you're meeting all kinds of people at that time too.
Yep. We would deal with local growers, and of course, like the best of the shit that we had was all coming from up north.
Yep.
Any of the
And
guys we know today
Okay.
that have brands that you were like, oh, that guy used to, man.
Yeah, one of them on Instagram, Humble Boys. I don't know if
Okay, yeah.
you know him. And the other one, Turby Johnson 707, dudes with Southern Humboldt Turp Farms. Yeah,
Been
these are
doing
real
it.
solid cats, bro. Like, and we went through a lot of ups and downs and stuff, because we built the relationship off of trust, and we were going up there. When we got our first pound, we came back so quick. Dude, like, fronted us one, so we're always like on the cuff for a bunch of product. Then fast forward a number of years later, we're real popping. We opened up another shop down in San Diego. Then we went through a raid at our Sunland shop. Cops came through, busted the doors, fucking robbed us blind. And then we built it back with them, this and that. So I always kept it cool, like name good everywhere, bro, worldwide, like Homicide.
I like that. I
love
like
it.
that.
And so growing
man's
still
got
hasn't come
wordplay.
in. No cultivation yet as far as like, lights and stuff in the background for you guys. Mostly sourcing product and knowing growers and being deep.
Yeah, where the growing started was when we opened up a shop in San Diego. It was a pretty big location, and in the back we had a room. Me and Tuna cracked off a little 4-lighter over there, so we're just getting our beaks wet, man. We started growing, and as we started like growing, we got raided. So it we knew that we were being watched, because when we got all the reports and stuff, our lawyers like, yo, these guys were like, surveillance was on you guys for a while. You didn't see people like following you around. Like, these guys have detailed reports of where you guys are going, what you guys are doing. So we were like afraid to go up north. So we just didn't go. We stayed, and little by little we started growing more and more. So that 4-lighter we started with, it was cool. And then as we were doing that, we started getting a bunch of house grows going. So
What strains at first?
our first strain that we grew was some, I think it was some Purple Bubba and some Tahoe. Some Tahoe OG. Yeah.
Beautiful strain.
Gotta have some OG there in these
Yeah.
times, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
And Tahoe's
you had
like,
to,
Yeah.
Such a unique
OG
one.
did
was
it? You
like-
were just like,
yeah.
OG
You know?
was everything back then,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah.
so 4 lights. What it turned into? You're popping off.
So
You got the residential phase.
yeah,
Getting into that, and then
Yep. So we had a bunch of grow houses going, and then we got raided a second time. Our lawyer on our first case, the lawyer's like, yo, open up. These fools don't got shit. You guys are doing everything by the book, paying taxes, payroll, everything by the book. And we were.
how the state says, yeah.
And they didn't give a fuck. So
course not.
they came and hit us again. And at the time, DEA was giving out letters to landlords saying, you better, if there's a cannabis business you're renting to, you better shut down, or else we're going to seize the property. So we got one in San Diego. So we ended up closing down the shop and the grow in San Diego. And after the second raid, we closed down the shop in Sunland. So it went to, and we were all out on bail, felony cases, sales of marijuana, fucking maintaining an unlawful business. They arrested my pops, my cousin, employees. We paid bail for everybody. They raised the bail. We had to bail everybody, pay the bail again.
Jeez.
Lawyers, 5 people on one case, another 5 on the second case. It just cost us millions, bro. So anything that we did make from the game, they took it right back. And we had to start back fresh, you know, square one. But we were go-getters and stuff, you know, we didn't let that fade us. But the deal that we had to take was, you know, my brother Gas No Brakes had to go sit for a little while, you know, and he got 3 years. Tuna got a year, and he did about a month and came home. I got fucking a month and a bunch of 5 years probation. So, and they kicked
all over the shop. The shop was
all over the shop, and they let my dad go scot free and my cousin scot free because they had some like they got green cards, so they were trying to deport them. So they had no bail, no nothing, immigration hold, and they were trying to deport them. So they cornered us into taking some fucked up plea deal, and that's what we did. So when the 215 game was cracking off, like High Times days, when people are fucking out here winning 107 awards, you know, like one company wins 107 awards. How does that happen? So yeah, like while people are building brands, like we're over here, we're growing some fire, you know, and we got to stay on the low and, you know, no brand building or nothing, but
they almost forced you underground.
Yeah, they did.
You know what I'm saying? Like literally it sounds like they were like, all right, well, you can't do this. So
we were legitimate businessmen. We had a tax certificate, business license, a hardship license at the time, you know, like it was like a loophole, but it was still legal. So yeah, it was fucked up because we were doing everything by the book, and they forced us underground, bro. So when that happened, we just started growing in houses. And after a while, I was like, man, like, got to go bigger, you know, like this shit ain't going to cut it. I'm over here running around like 4 or 5 places. I got 4 or 5 homies living in other trap spots, like taking care of the grows, like 10, 20 lighters here and there. And my pops were you know, after a certain age, me and my pop started smoking together. You know, I was like, he knew what was up, and he was like, I'd rather have you smoke at the crib and not get arrested on the streets. So he's been like more of a friend to me. So after a certain age, like after this whole shop scene, this and that, he knew some friends that had warehouses in the valley. So he connected me with them, and we started up a 50 lighter in North Hollywood. And that, like, we grew it from like one section of the warehouse that the old man let us have. It was like a failing mechanic business. He used to fix like rack and pinions and shit. And like Chinese manufacturing came on and his business went to shit. So from renting out one section of his warehouse, we got like another 50 lighter and another 50 lighter. So it was like a cool little 150 lighter going on over there. And
Asians are about it out here. Like they're like, every time I hear is like someone being like, yo, we got our first big grow. It seems like it was from like an awesome, you know, person in that community. It seems like they're pretty open with it. That's all I'm saying. That's awesome, because a lot of people are so close minded. They hear grow and they're like, nope, you know? Yeah.
So from then I was like, fuck.
And that's a lot of lights around that time. That's a good, you know, now you're going, now you're, you know, now you're at scale. So where's it going from there? You're starting to build a name, starting to make a buzz.
Yeah, we were never no brand building still, you know. The only type of brand building we ever did was like the people that we pretty much gave the product to, the shops that we served. They knew that they could depend on us for a certain type of work, and they would call it like, you know, like whatever OG. You know, back then, like a lot of people were in the dispensaries, right? They would fucking like switch the name on whatever the fuck, bro.
Yeah.
So you'd bring them one OG and they'll be like, all right, I'm gonna call it Skywalker. I'm gonna call it San Fernando Valley. And everybody had an OG, and it might have been the same cut or two, but everybody had a different variation. So these fuckers were like, hit them with fucking this is that. So they depended on us for like fucking quality OG, and that's like the only type of lane that we made as far as like, you know, branding and this and that at the time.
What was the OG cut though that you were growing? Like, what did you know it as?
The Tahoe.
The Tahoe.
Yeah, I think it was from like Connected. Not Connected. Cali Connection.
Yep, there you go.
The Cali Connection.
Yep, Cali Connection Seed Co.
Sway or whatever.
There you go. Yeah.
So, yeah, like dude had it popping pretty early on with the OGs, bro. I'm not gonna lie, you know, like a lot of the shit that we were growing was his gear at the time.
Yeah. Well, what were the types of strains you were growing during that time?
Mainly a lot of OGs, bro. For a solid like 10 or 12 years, all I grew was OGs. Because that's all that the market wanted. In LA, you couldn't come unlimited with nothing else, bro.
You got to be a good grower too.
What you had. You can't sell it in LA if it was an OG back in that era. Wow. So we just had a lot of OG, and mainly that one Tahoe. And then we have this Madman cut. And we just ran with those for a long ass time.
Damn. That's dope.
Yeah, it is dope.
So scaling up from 150 lights, where does it take you from there?
And what year is this you think about now? Because 150 lights is a lot.
This is probably 2012, 13. Yeah.
Yep.
And so after that place kept getting broken into because it was in the hood, and they would like literally find their way in no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, we'd cinder block shit, and these motherfuckers were like break in from the roof and come in from the roof.
Sounds familiar.
Oh man.
And they'd harvest your whole facility in like 2 hours. It's like, yo, like come work for me, man.
The whole neighborhood comes. The whole neighborhood's like working on your spot at the time.
We got one.
Yeah. Come with us tonight. We're gonna hit this spot again. Hold on, it's harvest day. 3 days. They're flushing right now. Like for real.
It's
crazy,
insane, man.
So 150 lighters getting broken into, spots burnt, moving on. Where does it go from there?
We moved on from there and kind of at that time there was like a little drought in LA. So like I was like noticing a lot of people were hitting me up for work, and I hit up Poker Star because you know, like I had a cool little relationship with them, and we made some money. So I was like, yo, you still got your plane? He's all like, yeah, man. I was like, you want to go up north and, you know, grab some work real quick and flip it? I was like, I know a plug, and, you know, everybody's blowing me up. So he's like, all right, cool. I had some paper. He had the plane. We hopped in his old, in the old Baron, a little 2-engine plane. I was like calling everybody that flew with him. I was like, yo, is this fucker a good pilot? Does this fool want to live still? So yeah, like we made a quick run up to Santa Cruz, and we picked up some work, came back, and the whole flight there, I'm like chopping it up with him, and he was telling me how he has like a 60 lighter with these dudes that, you know, they're like charging him a recipe fee, and he doesn't have a key to his own place. I was like, bro, pull the plug on these clowns, bro. He's like, they're like harvesting 1 pound of light. I was like, come on, dog. I was like, put your boy in, coach.
Yeah.
So they were doing him dirty, dog. So by the time we got back, like he wanted to take over the spot, and these guys, like when he kicked them out, they pulled like the fire sprinkler and flooded the whole fucking building.
Damn.
So it was like a worthless spot, you know? So we ended up, he knew a lot of people. He always knew people like with real estate. So we ended up getting this place cracking in downtown LA. This was probably like in 2015. And it was an old laundromat. And we built that place. and I was doing the electrical work with him and shit. And as we were building it, you know, it was like a 32 lighter, but it was ahead of its time. We had a double decker veg, automated fucking watering and everything. And
Wow.
as we were building it, he was like, yo, the state's about to pass a wreck, and fucking, you know, we got to be up on game, bro. We had all these shops before, and we both kind of got dealt bad cards, and you know, we ain't got no shops right now. He's like, we got to work on, you know, getting the license. So we knew a lawyer, or this guy he used to be a judge from Glendale. His name was Steve LaBelle. Not like we work in Steve LaBelle. Like,
Okay. I was like, what?
Yeah. I was like, why is that name sound familiar?
So this guy fucking, we went and had a sit down with him, and he was one of the guys that I guess helped write a part of the Prop 215 language. And they went to him for consulting on, you know, some of the language on the Prop 64 stuff. So he advised us, he's like, yeah, man, you got to convince a city to, you know, adopt a cannabis ordinance and to give you guys a license from the city, and then the state will issue a license for you. So we went around to different cities trying to fucking get them to adopt a cannabis ordinance.
You and PokerStar.
Me and PokerStar.
Dressed up, going down to city, like trying to.
Yeah,
wow.
this was in 2015.
He's like,
bro.
I didn't really dress up, but
but I'm just saying, you know, going
at
from
first,
growing, a lot of
I
foresight.
didn't, and I had to learn real quick, right? Because we would go from city to city and get shut down. And I would tell him, I was like, bro, this is a fucking waste of time. Why are you dragging me over here with you? You know?
yeah.
It's not my like place.
Forte.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not my scene.
Yeah. Not your
But
part.
he taught me a lot, bro. And that whole journey taught me a lot.
He had a lot of foresight. We got to get legal. We got to get legal. Remember what happened to us first time?
Yep.
I mean, that's awesome,
So
though, because
he's
teamwork.
like he's like 8 or 10 years older than me. So he was up on the legislation and talking to council members and shit like that. From back in the day, he had relationships with a couple of people.
But
So-
teamwork this whole time, I keep hearing teamwork. Like you had a
Teamwork,
crew,
bro. Of course.
Your brother, a crew. Is Fidel enter the picture at all yet?
Fidel is, yeah. So
Just to bring it up, I'm just wondering.
a couple of years prior to that, when we got raided and stuff, when we were going, you know, growing in like a bunch of houses and stuff, I opened up a grow store, a hydro shop with Gas No Breaks, my brother Aram, and my
Smart.
cousin. Those three of us, we opened up in Santa Clarita Valley. It was called SCV Hydro back then, and then it became Commercial Grow Supply, and now it's a Grow Generation store. Actually,
That's a famous
Wow.
store.
it is, man.
That's
It's
a
got
famous
lot
store
of-
in the valley. I
It's
hope
got a
people,
lot
if you
of
don't
history,
know that.
bro. It's
Yeah.
got a
Yeah,
lot of
like he
history.
just
That's
named off
history.
3 Mecca stores where, like, if you were an OG in the game, you probably shopped there. You know, these are famous stores. You played it off really nice. I've heard of these, and I'm from Florida, so
Much love, bro. So yeah, like when we got raided and we had to step away from that, I kind of, you know, went to the hydro shop and spent a lot of time over there building that. And then my brother Gas No Breaks went away to prison, and my cousin at the time was strung out on booze and fucking drugs and shit. So the whole shop was like on me, you know. And I had a grow that was making me a good living. I didn't want to like step away from the grow and be in a retail environment that wasn't for me, you know? So I sold it to a friend of mine, and he took over and fucking made it what it is today. And,
Wow.
you know, it was an amazing journey, but that part of my life taught me a lot about growing too. 'Cause I'm in the grow store. I'm learning every day about every kind of nutrient, every type of product, what it does, what it's for. People come in with all kinds of problems, and you know, like you're just learning with them. Oh, I tried this and it worked. I tried that and it worked. This fucked my shit up. That works great. So I'm learning over there, you know? I remember we were at the city of Carson, and they were doing the bid for the SoFi Stadium. Okay, before where I think it got built in Englewood or wherever they got it. But I remember going and talking to the mayor, and this dude has a model of the stadium on his desk, and we're over here doing cannabis talk, pitching cannabis to the city. So I was like, fuck, you know, like this is an important conversation, and dude's hearing us out, you know, like people are like, they're listening. So that obviously didn't pan out. And, you know, Maywood was was next up on the list. We went up to Maywood and we kept going to city council meetings. People were like fucking lobbying against it for some fucking reason. They would come with like picket signs saying, like no marijuana, and like we're like, why? We're gonna create jobs and tax revenue and this and that. Eventually, we stuck around Maywood for a while, and it was like pretty costly, doing fundraisers for their elections, and they promised you that they'd stand by the cause and vote for marijuana. Back to school events, you're donating fucking backpacks.
Wow.
They had you out there donating backpack.
Well, they'd hit you up. They'll be like, if you know what's up, you could read between the lines, right? It's like fucking you're not greasing palms, but you are, bro. And you got to pay to play. So they take advantage of you. If you're coming around, if everybody heard at the time that Maywood was going to be one of the first cities to adopt a cannabis ordinance, so everybody was flocking over there. And these guys, they're like how prostitutes do the tricks, bro. They'll turn, they'll lure you in and take that motherfucking money. So that's what they were doing. They'll be like, all right, back to school. We need fucking 100 backpacks and school supplies. What you got on it?
Wow.
So we were buying backpacks,
Jeez.
bro.
What you got on it?
What a racket.
You got them off 40.
What
homie.
a racket.
Turkey Day, we were buying turkeys and shit,
least
Christmas
you're
time,
helping.
we fucking bought a fucking
You had
28.
tuna buying turkeys.
Yeah, bro.
get the
Tuna's
Maywood.
buying turkey.
Tuna was out there buying turkeys, man.
I mean, that just shows you whatever it takes, right?
Yeah. So when we start feeling like it was gonna pan out, we started like, looking for real estate in the area. And the way the law was written in Maywood is like not a lot of real estate qualified for, cannabis activities because of zoning and all that. So we found a building, but it wasn't for sale. I was like, man, imagine we could be in that building. It's a badass building. It was right at the corner of the city. And we approached the tenants at the time, and they gave us the number to the owner. The owner's like, here, talk to my agent. He didn't say yes or no. He just gave us the number to the agent. And we told the agent, we're like, yo, we don't have a real estate agent on our end. You could double end the deal. So she was going to make commission on our end and on her end.
Smart.
So it
Started
made it
pushing
like,
the seller.
Smart move.
Yeah. So it made it worthwhile for her. And we ended up,
Did you knew it was going to be a cookies already?
no.
Okay.
So we'll
I
get
just
into
wanna
it.
ask.
Hold on, man. Hold on.
Sorry. I'm excited.
So we ended at this time, we're pretty, like it's been a year that we're in Maywood. We it took a lot of money to get to that point, fundraisers and this and that. And I didn't have a lot of money at the time, bro. I was like spread thin. So we locked down the building. She says the owner agreed to sell it for $4 million. We lock it down with a $40,000 cashier's check, put it in escrow, not having any financials or anything to fucking close on the building. So I start shopping the deal. I was like, yo, if I get a license, it should be a easy sell for, somebody to invest on the dream, So I tried to shop it and nobody wanted
Wow.
they thought it was a thing because everybody's all like, yo, I'm going to get a license in Maywood. I'm going to get a license in Maywood. And I felt like I had a legit fucking shot. Like people knew us because we actually spent time. I went up on the fucking podium. I told the residents about, the benefits of cannabis and the negative side and, the pluses and minuses. Their whole concern was, we're the cartel and they're giving their money to the cartel. But
That still comes up now.
yeah.
I'm like, that's like 0.001% of shops. They don't even understand that, but yeah.
So I'm not a gambling person, but the biggest gamble I made was, just putting that check on that building and hoping I could close. And I ended up not closing. Somebody else tried to swoop in and buy the building. I went up as a backup offer. So we go in as a backup offer, and then I finally found somebody that was like serious that said, yo, I'll buy the building for you and you could rent it back for me. And he was a really smart businessman, you know. He's actually the same guy that owns the Jungle Boys building, the Food for Less building.
Wow.
Yeah, he owns a lot of his real estate portfolios.
He knows who to
Fucking
deal with.
insane,
Deep
bro.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He owns a
knew
lot
who
of
was gonna
weed
stick around.
real estate.
Smart
So
guy.
this gentleman, you know, bought the building. We rented it back from him, and like I needed a good amount of money to kind of build it out, and you know, I had a small chunk, me, Tuna, and Poker Star, but you know, it wasn't nothing to get us to the finish line.
It's a big building.
So I was shopping it to a bunch of people, and at the time, my boy that I sold the hydro shop to, he had a mutual partner. They had a dispensary. He knew me because I took a lot of work down there. It was called NoHo's Finest, and dude's name's Armin, real cool dude. You know, I told him about the whole project and the vision. I told him, look, I got a license and I got a building that I'm renting back from the owner, and you know, my vision is, you know, 300 lights, vertical, fucking dispensary, this and that. And he was like, all right, how much is it going to be? I told him, you know, 3 M's. He's like, all right, I'm in. We said 50-50.
Hell
Boom.
yeah.
So we committed to it. 3 mil in, fucking, we're at like halfway, bro. I didn't know what I was talking about. It was like, it was my first time building to that scale, you know, 25,000 square foot
And legal.
building, legal.
Yeah.
It was just out of my fucking experience, bro. Like I had never experienced anything like that.
Most people, their first time legal. I mean, everything takes a year longer. Everything's more expensive. Everything's longer.
Yep.
Yeah.
So at this time I'm on the gram, just kind of, you know, like watching the scene and kind of putting my progress up, letting people know, like, you know, like, you know, what we're working on and what's to come and this and that. And at that time, Steve LaBelle, We Working, was talking to one of my partners, and he came by and we were talking about doing like a celebrity type of endorsement for the shop, you know, to get shit popping and stuff. So he was throwing out some names. He was like, yo, what if we bring so-and-so and this and that, and like Bone Thugs and Harmony or this person, that person. I was like, you know, they're cool, bro, but you know, I don't think they're in the culture like you think they are, you know? They're not popping like that. He's like, well, who do you think? I was like, fuck, Wiz, bro. You know, maybe Wiz or Burn.
Yep.
And he's like, Burner's already doing his thing, and Wiz Khalifa's doing Khalifa Kush, and you know, he's all, we'll see what's up. So we had that meeting, and then he came by one more time. And as he was talking to my partners and me, he got a phone call from Burner. Burner at the time was Steve LaBelle, was Scott Storch's manager. So Scott Storch is a big producer. You know, he does a lot of music for rap legends and shit. Yep.
Famous.
So dude was working on Burner's album. So Burner hit up Steve LaBelle on a FaceTime, and he was like, yo, what are you doing? He's like, I'm right here in Maywood. And when Burner heard Maywood, a lot of people were trying to be in Maywood at the time, you know? I don't know. I heard rumors that, you know, Jungle Boys had plans to get a license over there. A lot of big names. So
Was there only one? There were very few, right?
well, there were very few licenses that were going to be given out, and very few real estate. So like real estate was getting bought out by certain groups. I didn't know what players were making what plays, but Burner had caught wind of, you know, like the city was already like, it was buzzing. So he's all like, what, a weed facility? And, you know, Steve showed him around, and it was just like framing, you know, just 2x4s, just framing. And we had already done the layout. Me, Mike, and Poker Star, we mapped everything out on a fucking napkin, then went back and forth, got it all laid out. So the place is like skeletons at this point. And Burner caught wind of it. It seemed like he was interested. And then we're all like, yo, maybe that could be an avenue, you know, maybe we could make that work. So fast forward a couple of months after that, we have the shop pretty much built out.
Was this was the first time you had met Burner or had any contact with Burner? He had basically, it was just through this deal.
I met him one time before, but that was when I like, he didn't know me or anything. I pulled up to Reef in Vegas when they first opened up, or I don't know
Exotics.
if it was not during the Exotics. It was right when he started the partnership. He was there. He had some jars, and at the time Reef had some garbage, but Burn was there, and he was like, "Look, this is what I'm gonna bring to over here." And you know, he had a little meet and greet and shit, and I met him. Never thought anything of it, you know. Like I fuck with his music and shit. It's like fucking trapper, smuggler, you know, weed head music and shit that I really fucked with. You know, we used to listen to his shit in the grow.
Yeah.
So
very few people talk to us as what we do for a living.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And I liked the Cookie Fam genetics at the time. You know, I used to go to this spot right here in Hollywood. I forget, the Kind Center.
Yep.
And pick
shout
up
out a deal.
Shout out to
big shout out deal.
I used to go to the Kind Center and pick up, you know, Cookie Fam flour. I like the guava.
They always
and that shit
fire.
had they had
Karma
Firefly.
Squad. Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, so I knew about Burn and the Cookie Fam, and I'm up on game on the gram, bro. You know, I'm watching people build their brands and this and that, but I'm gonna do my shit strategic. You know, I'm gonna make some noise regardless because the facility's still ahead of its time in the rec world. You know,
Right.
so
Perfect area too in LA.
yeah, man,
Great area.
It's right there in the hood.
And you're single source. Now you have a grow and a dispensary in one location, which is what everyone wants.
Yeah, total vertical. Yeah, that was a big play. So at that time, the store's like kind of like on its final stages, 80% built out, and
Double the budget.
yeah, double the budget. So we brought in some a couple of more partners, you know, for a little cash infusement and strategic partners, you know. If you know Al, you know who I'm talking about. You know my boy from Cookies Melrose, Backpack Boys, and all that. Yeah,
okay.
Al,
Absolutely.
legend in the
Big
game.
shout out.
Absolutely.
Al and Mike. So they came on board
That's
and
fire.
kind of got us to the finish line. So when we were nearing the end of the project, Burn came back around and he kind of scoped the shop, and he was like just feeling us out to see who we were and, you know, what our vision was and what we're trying to do and all that stuff. And he liked the shop, the concept, you know, the whole vertical concept. And we talked about, you know, doing like, we're talking about doing the shop, calling it Hybrid. And we talked about doing like a collab, doing a cookies/hybrid
I like
collab
that.
store. We went back and forth on that for a couple of weeks. And then while he was there, I had given him some flour that I grew. And he was blown away. He's like, fuck. He's like, you grew this shit? I remember it was some Peach OZ that we hunted through a dying breed pack. And I'd never met like Brandon and them at the time, you know? So I was like popping seeds, finding some dope shit. And I just harvested probably like a couple of weeks before Burner's meeting. So the night before, like I knew he was coming, I stayed up all night and I cherry picked nugs. I fucking hand trimmed it myself, stayed up late, fucking got mason jars. I was like, man, I'm gonna impress this fool. Fucking jarred it up and fucking labeled them. And the next day we went to the meeting at the shop and, you know, I laid it on him. I was like, yo, check out the jars, bro, and cracked them open. And he was fucking with it, dog.
That's dope.
And we had a real cool meeting at the time. And then he came back after with Jigga like a couple of weeks later. He's like, yeah, like anything, like, you know, I'm half of Cookies and my partner Jigga's the other half. And, you know, like he's got to come down and we got to do this thing, you know, together. So Jigga comes down and scopes out the shop, and man, like he was hype, bro. And Jigga's energy is like on some other level, bro. Like if you're in his presence and that dude's like you know, like he's doing his talking and describing and shit. Like fuck, he gets you charged up.
The
So-
homies always call him like Master Yoda and shit
Yeah,
like that.
bro,
I always
yeah.
hear some
Sensei,
crazy. Yeah,
right.
sensei.
Sensei.
Yeah. And you guys did that big C drop with him. We'll get to that. But I mean, I was in line at 3 a.m. for that.
So they
I
come.
so
remember
you know.
meeting you for that, bro.
Oh, dope,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, hell yeah.
So we talk about, you know, doing a collab shop, and then everybody goes back. They go back to the Bay, and you know, we go back to the Bucks, and we're just like trying to put our heads together. And Burns like, yo, like fuck, what if we just call it fucking Cookies? I was like, man, that would be a game changer. That would shut the game down right here in LA, you know. But I don't know. Like, I guess he wanted to do a shop in LA for a while, and he had talked to Ivan and the Jungle Boys about doing something, and that never panned out. And he really wanted a shop over here, so he was like, "Fuck it, if it's not gonna happen with them, I'm gonna make something happen," you know. So we ended up inking a deal, and they had a bunch of genetics and stuff they brought down. And at the time, Burn was still partners with Connected, and they supported the whole play. You know, they fucking sold us a bunch of, you know, the dank that they were growing at the time, the Biscotti and the 41 and whatever they had popping. So that's how, like, the, you know, and Burner was doing an album release for like the Big Pescado, and it was the day his mom had passed away, so he wanted to do something, the anniversary of his mom's death, so he wanted to do something to change the scene and the energy. So he dropped the album that day, and then we opened up Maywood that day. It was I think January 16 or 18 in 2018.
Yeah, your brother told about
That's
that story
killer.
that you guys did that in like record timing.
Yeah, that was fucking insane,
go.
bro.
You boys were the ones.
Yeah.
You guys.
I mean,
the
that's
ones.
the flagship. Anyone you talk to when you're like, yo, you want to try like some fire, like the fire version of the cookie shop, it's always the Maywood location because of you guys being able to cultivate the way
Fresh,
you
yeah.
do.
And I tell
it's
everybody
fire.
all the time, Cookies has a lot of spots, and you know, I tell them this Maywood's not a partnership; it's the mothership. baby.
I
You
like
know?
that.
So
I see him posting that too.
we got a lot of love for Maywood,
Yeah.
man. That's our baby, all of
Mhm.
ours. You know, it
Yeah,
kicked off. It
100%.
kicked off the whole Connected Cookies era was dope. I fucked with it heavy, and that was legendary in its own sense.
Yep.
And then, you know, like right after that era, like, you know, when that thing died out, it was unfortunate. It was fucked up. It was good for, like, we all loved it when they were teamed up together, you know, like it was good for everybody. Then after, our era was fucking dope because it just gave birth to like a whole new era for Cookies and stuff. But it was dope, man. Like,
It's
it
crazy.
still is dope.
Absolutely. And,
Yeah.
and so you guys ran the shop and had that pumping for quite some time. How long did you have it? How you had it before the renovation? How you just released it recently? And we'll get to that. How you guys just did a complete overhaul of the dispensary, and it looks insane, man.
Yeah, the remodel is dope. We had it going for about 3.5 years before we hit
Fire.
it with the remodel. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's dope. It's got a nice like a 330 flowering lights in the back, little R&D area that we do some breeding at, seed hunts, and
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can
it-
check that out on the vlog too. You boys
Yeah.
took us back there. You got
Yeah.
to suit up, and we went in the back and checked it out. Saw
Yeah.
some pomelo, some fish scale, all that live.
Okay.
And
So that was dope.
and we saw the new shop. We saw
Yeah,
the
yeah,
new
yeah, the new
version.
layout.
So
New
you want to
version.
be able to see the new layout that they just finished. It's off the chain. It
Yeah.
really is. It's so different than it was.
Talk about that. Doing the renovation and the envisionment and how you were able to, make that happen. Like, how'd you go about that? Like, who had the vision? And because it looks dope. Like, when I walked in, I'm not gonna lie, like, I was pretty surprised. I was like, damn, this is fire. Like,
Yeah, the vision was, like amongst the partners, we were just looking at the lines during the COVID time, and
It was popping.
It was popping.
Crazy.
I remember going a few times, and like I said, I waited like 20, 30 minutes. But it was like, that waiting room was, a little rough. But once you got in, it was cool. You got your shit, you can get out, right? But now you go there and you want to hang out for a little bit. You might want to catch a conversation or something and chill out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
That was the whole point
out.
of the change is not to get nobody to wait. And in that old 215 waiting area,
Yeah.
that vibe, we were trying to get rid of that. And,
now it's like you're at a cool retail store or something waiting.
Yeah, it's more up to date with all
like
the newer cookie
Miami
retail stores.
hotel, even like South
Something like
Beachy, the vibe is real different.
Yeah, almost like a Vegas vibe too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's based on the Santa Ana and the Vegas store.
Yeah, exactly.
That
That's-
makes
That's the
sense.
feel I got.
Yeah.
It's dope.
But
For
you
real.
guys been holding that cultivation down since day one. Because
Yeah.
I go there and I smoke the product. I've been there and smoked the product. Could you? So let's go back to how did the Jigga seed drop work? Because like I was in line at 2:33 in the morning and waited till noon because like I wanted to get that first London pound cake drop. I actually still have those seeds. I want to pop them, but I still have them.
This
I've
guy
saved
likes to
them.
buy seeds and never pop them. I don't know.
I'm gonna pop them. I need some space.
Anyone else?
I need 330 lights
at
flower.
home has seed collecting as a hobby, but this guy's a big seed collector.
But I mean, that was
fuck.
how did that work? Like, was that shortly after it opened?
That
right?
was shortly after it opened,
Mhm.
and we did the London pound cake seed drop.
Ooh.
I remember meeting you actually.
Thank you.
Yep, yep.
I was so excited, bro.
I met a couple of homies, and like that shit popped off. A lot of people came through for him, and one of the people that reached out to me, like DM'd me, was somebody I partnered up with, my homie Donnie, Different Shades of Green, and dude hit me up, and he's big about beans, bro. And dude came and copped a bunch of beans, and he was following me on the gram at the time, and he actually was watching me pre-cookies like build the whole shop, so he watched it from its infancy and shit.
Wow.
And I ended up networking with him, and that kind of like blossomed into us launching Fiore from his facility like a
that's
couple of
dope.
years down the line. So
What
a lot of dope shit came out of that.
Yeah.
Seed drop full circle, man. Like
Tell us more about that then. How did you
Crazy.
start, Fiore, and what was the vision and your partnership with that like?
so when we did Cookies Maywood, a couple of the partners went and opened up a couple of cookies retail stores. We wanted to concentrate more on the cultivation side. That's more always been our specialty. Tuna and me and Poker Star. So we wanted to have a brand that would kind of would be our own thing. We could do our own collabs and kind of let our own creative mind play out and kind of support cookies too, as far
Get
as
on the shelves,
cultivation.
yeah.
Cultivation, not just for us being on the shelf space, but supporting cookies as far as like
Finding strains and
finding strains and producing.
100% flavors.
What we were doing out of Maywood, the streets were fucking with it.
Yeah, 100%.
There's a lot of producers that were producing cookie strains and stuff, but they were fucking with the Maywood L'Chaim bags, bro. Like in the back
It
of
smokes. It
That's a fact.
smokes. The shit was smoking. The shit
a
is
fact.
smoking. Yeah.
like you could hype it up or not, but I'm a real smoker, bro. Like I smoke fucking hella weed at the end of the day.
That's what makes a difference. Your
That's
passion.
our C4 right there, bro.
Bro,
That's
that's what I'm-
a
yeah,
TK
yeah, right.
Triangle Kush times Straw Nana.
What
Fucking
a great
amazing
cross.
terps. My homie Charisma washed that for us,
Ooh.
and that was in the seed hunt, epic seed hunt. I'm gonna get into that chapter of things in a minute with Donnie and Dylan, Different Shades of Green, and our partnership over there. So
Let's try some pack odds.
Yo,
Let's
Yeah.
all try
I
some.
love the branding, by the way, man. Like,
thank you, man.
that's what honestly made me a fan of you. Is like I'm into the branding and different things that I noticed first. And the first thing I noticed about before I really knew who Surge Cannabis was, obviously on Instagram, I knew Fiore, and I was like, wow, this is a fire ass brand.
And you were like,
I'm seeing everything.
Well,
and
Yeah.
I watched the OGs, bro, pioneer
Yeah.
this shit, and you take notes.
yeah, 100%.
And being a connoisseur and and why the if you got a shitty product and great marketing, it's the quickest way to kill your brand, bro. You'll market your shit to death, right? If you got great marketing and shitty product, but if you got great product and great marketing, your shit's gonna take off, bro. And I feel like the timing and everything, what we were doing was right, and everything was clicking. And I went to the OGs for their advice and their blessings, bro. Burns, he's a legend in the game, bro. And I got the benefit of calling him my friend and my partner. So I went to him for advice and his blessing. I told him, yo, I'm gonna crack off this brand, you know, like, come do it with me. And he was like, nah, little bro, you go crack that shit off on your own, but I got your back. I support you 100%. And then we talked about logos and colorways and this and that. And he was real supportive about everything from day one, bro. And gave me a lot of like insight on, you know, branding, brand building and shit like that. So it's cool having people, OGs around you, bro. You know, I'm a few years younger, but fuck, in spirit, I feel really young, you know, when I'm around people like this, because their accomplishments are like fucking, people don't accomplish what they accomplish in a fucking lifetime, and they're still young, you know? So Steve LaBelle, Burner, Be Real, you know, being around cats like this, you take notes and fucking learn shit, bro. And then the other beasts around me, bro, my partners, you know, in the backside that people don't see, my brothers, you know, like I'm learning, I'm taking notes, I'm making shit happen. So
talk about the seed hunts and stuff you were just speaking on, your partners with that.
So I met Donnie and Dylan, real cool brothers. They were building their own spot in Adelanto at the time when I met them. They were watching me build Maywood. I was watching them build their facility in Adelanto. And they're, you know, OG growers from back in the day, from you know, the 215 days. They did their thing, but they didn't really build a brand or anything. And so when I met them, they bought a bunch of seeds. We started networking. I went up to, how's that say?
The big
I was
ass
fighting with this thing for a minute. I'm like, come on, what's up with this peak, man? It matches,
I was
dude.
surprised how much you
I wanna let you
I like that Fiore
Yo, this shit is
man.
fire.
Shout out Puffco.
Let me just strawberry banana times triangle kush. So if you've already smoked strawberry banana, it's already a potent strain. Now you're adding triangle kush to it. Like, this is some smoker smoke for like this is rosin too. This is live rosin. Yeah, bro, this is fire. Absolutely beautiful taste. Would you like some? It's, you know, primed and ready.
Creme de la creme, baby.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. It is tasty. It's got that beautiful strawberry banana back to it. It's like creamy, but you know that there's got some like OG, some chemi. Really nice, man. Great work on that, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Honestly.
So I met the homie Different Shades of Green and Nature Refined when we were on the gram, and they came by to swoop up some seeds, built a relationship with them. And as they were designing their facility, they came toward the Maywood and got some ideas and insight on how to build it. And we've always been an open book with everybody, bro. You know, like, it's about sharing game. And, you know, if I see the homies trying to do the same thing, I'm gonna want them to succeed and network, and we'll build on that. So
That's
he
rare.
came by, got some ideas, and you know, they were light years ahead on their build. It seemed like they were building such a big building. He's got 1,500 lights up in Adelanto in the desert. And I remember going by their building to tour their building as they were like nearing completion. And he said his partners are Armenian and I'm Armenian. So ended up meeting them. They're like, you know, family, you know, three brothers, very family oriented, and they love the boys, Donnie and Dylan, like family too. So we're like, fuck, man, like, amazing vibes over here. And so once they got their license, they didn't pop any clones. They popped in, I think, 14,500 seeds, not fucking 1,400, 14,500 seeds. I think like
It's
a
a hell of
couple
a seed
Love
hunt.
it. That is
a couple
awesome.
hundred. Yeah, they
We could
got a
get Elle to do
genetic.
fraction of that.
I
Get
think
that
that's about
whole
what I
thing,
have sitting in my bank.
You know,
I think we could.
Fucking-
Yeah, we could.
How much space you got to have to pop 14,000
1,500 lights. That's about
they
what I
kicked,
need.
They kicked off all 1,500 lights, like
all indoor?
all indoor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
their
Wow.
facility's
Yeah.
unbelievable. If you haven't seen a nature_refined.
Yep, nature.
And are they originally from Seattle, from Washington area? Maybe
I'm not sure. I think
not sure.
I think they're SoCal.
they're SoCal. Man,
What-
what an unbelievable facility.
So talk to us about the seeds.
Yeah,
The seeds were from like everybody's gear. Donnie did a hell of a job, like fucking, you know,
That's a
like
lot of seeds.
buying seeds, bro.
a lot of
a lot
money.
of paper. Yeah. So
lot of
yeah,
work.
there was everybody's work, bro. Canorado, fucking bro. Anybody
What
under the sun, any breeder. I like. There's not one that I could leave out that he didn't have their work.
That's killer.
What time frame is this?
This is 2018, 2019.
Okay,
So
a couple years ago,
Yeah,
Yep.
3 years ago, Mo.
So they started popping and hunting through those seeds, and you know, like a lot of people were approaching them, trying to lock down, you know, their grow and contract their workout or whatever. And we just built a great relationship organically together, you know. So it was only right that we worked together. And they didn't have a brand that they wanted to put anything under, so we launched the Fiore brand. And yeah, that's how everything launched from their facility. So we did a seed hunt, about 14,500 seeds, and picked a bunch of keepers for the Fiore menu.
how'd you come up with the name?
The Fiore name, we were going back and forth trying to get some dope shit, and I don't know, man. I came up with it. I ran it by Tuna and Poker, and they're like, fuck, I like it, you know. And
It is dope.
It is dope.
it's Italian for flower.
Oh,
Fire. Yeah.
love it, dude. Smoking in
It's
Miami
elegant.
vibe.
It's elegant. You know, so a lot of different directions you can take the brand, which is dope. And then you got to talk to us about the plane, man. What you guys were just like, fuck it, let's wrap the plane.
Yeah,
huh?
so the plane, it was
'Cause that got my attention for sure. I was like, yo, that's
Oh.
some dope shit. Like,
yeah, well,
because if you're in the cannabis game, like you see something like that, you're like, if you're not a hater, you're happy for that. But like, yo, that's dope.
Yeah.
Like that's so,
Levels.
That
That
was
set the
fire,
new
bro.
level.
Like I saw
so
that was like that made me a fan
we've
of the
always
brand.
been
I'm
in
not gonna lie.
aviation because of Poker Star. Like he's
Yeah.
been flying since he was 18.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
he's got like 25 years of flying, and dude's a beast when it comes to you know behind the
That's
plane.
dope.
That's
So-
awesome.
Living out his dream. He had a 2-engine plane. We used to take everywhere. Whenever we had to go up to the bay, we'd hop in that motherfucker and just go. Be there in like 45 minutes, an hour or whatever. And it got a little outdated, and when we started seeing a little success, we're all like, "Fuck, dude, it's time to upgrade." So, dude popped up with the CJ1 Plus. That thing's badass. And it's got a custom paint job. Everybody thinks it's a wrap, but it's a custom paint job.
So
Yeah.
it's
I thought, damn.
a jet with the custom paint
Yeah.
job on the jet.
Custom jet with a
Dude,
custom paint job.
love
We had
it.
to fly it out to Arizona, leave it there for like I think 60 days, and we have a time lapse video of it getting painted. And these guys are good, bro. They got the gradient down like fucking amazing.
That's why you think it's a wrap. You're like, it's too
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's done so
It's
well
got
that
the
you think it's a
Fiore
wrap.
on the
That's
belly.
crazy.
When people see it, they
tail
trip
number
out.
is CM420, Cookie Monster 420, bro. That's a custom tail number.
Wow.
The FAA was like backed up for a while, so we had a temporary tail number on it, and then finally unveiled that tail number that we had
Big
We
shout out
rented
Cookie
out.
Monster.
Wow,
That's
that's fire,
killer.
man. That's
Shout out
crazy.
to my partner Edwin, man. Dude's a beast, bro.
Straight up.
Yeah, that's
You already
it.
know.
He's our pilot.
People, I bet when people see you land in that thing, people are like, yo, because like some people have jets, but it's not wrapped with their brand.
Yeah.
Or not wrapped, my bad.
Custom
it's not
paint.
custom painted. It's too good.
That shit's it pops, bro. Like
Yeah, it
does
we landed
pop.
at Vegas one time, and Drake's plane was there. You know, the one he did with Virgil. It's the Clouds.
Yeah.
It's a big fucking like a 767 or some
crazy.
shit. But our little fucking thing was like, it was it pops more than his
Yeah.
big ass
It
767.
turns
bro.
heads.
Yeah.
Dude, to
Those
have
colors.
those two in the
That color
same
palette.
lot,
Right.
that's a photo shoot.
And whenever
Holy
you pull up
shit.
to like weed events, you see like who's a real boss over there. You're like, oh damn, these who's got a big ass jet too. Ours is a little thing, you know, but
Yeah.
man, some people doing their thing in the weed game, bro.
Yeah,
No,
Shout
I
out
love
to
it.
them.
No,
No,
straight
it's
up.
setting goals for some of these guys.
So what-
There are.
What's next for for Surge, man?
For Surge, fuck. I just, I love hunting and breeding. I just want to keep, pushing the evolution of the plant, doing my part in my generation, breeding new strains, hunting through shit, other people's gear. And yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Navigate through these uncharted times right now. Times are tough.
Yeah.
In the weed space. So just, we're here for the long haul.
Absolutely.
And you
you already made it
sacrificed.
through the rain.
Yeah.
Seems like
we've paid our dues, man.
yeah, straight up.
But nonetheless, it's at the end of the day, business is business,
Yeah.
and you got to be a good businessman to survive. You got to have good ethics to survive, and you got to be a stand-up person, because our community don't put up with bullshit, bro. If you're a fake, if you're a phony, we'll call you out on that shit. We'll pull your covers. So
100%.
try
This-
to be
this
a solid
community's
human
tight.
being. I've been in the weed game 20 years, bro, and everybody knows my name. Not to be cocky or anything, but the people that do know my name, I'm good with. Like my name's good for 20 plus years. Cali, from fucking Humboldt to fucking San Diego to Spain, the UK, bro. I ain't never done nobody dirty, bro. And that's integrity.
100%.
What can we expect out of that new facility, that Fiore facility? I see a lot of like all your own strains, all stuff that you pop from seed. All like it's just going to continue like that fire that you guys grow and
Yep.
chase down.
A lot of R&D, man, to just bring something special to the market. Right now, the market's so like monotone, right? I'm not gonna say any strain names, but a lot of the same terps dominating the whole genetic pool right now. And what we want to do is just take our time to slowly breed away from that and give a nice diverse menu, something worthwhile, because a lot of strains are coming and going, but nothing worthwhile to talk about, and I'm talking about across the whole board. I'm not gonna, we're not even coming up with nothing special. It takes a lot to come with something special that's gonna, stand out. So we want to bring some standouts. We're gonna take our time, do our breeding projects, take our time with it, and hunt through, deep hunts, try to find those gems and bring them to light, share it with the world.
Bro, if you could
Make
give
it happen.
the young growers, because a lot of people follow you, a lot of people love what you're doing, and if you could give some young growers, guys that don't have 100 lights up, guys that are trying to figure out how to get on, or just trying to figure out how to put some lights up, like just some advice from grower, and someone who they look up to and who has built a legal grow and a legal facility and a multi-million-dollar multi-brands, unbelievable.
Advice I would give is pretty much, start small. Don't be afraid to fail. Keep at it. Learn. It takes time. You probably don't want to hear this, but it takes a lot of time to get where people are at. People just see, you just hear about somebody and you think it was an overnight success. That person has 20 years behind them probably to get them where they're at. But start small. And, if you have the space in your house and you like growing, you like dealing with the plant, pop some seeds, get going, get your hands dirty. And if you don't have the means to do it at home, we're living in, it's one hell of a time to be alive right now, right? Legalization and all this stuff. Go apply at a place and go get a job at a weed facility. Start from, being a trimmer and work your way up or a plant tech, and do some plant care and get your hands dirty and be involved with a dope team. Everybody's looking to bring solid members on their team. So contribute to the community, make your efforts known, and your efforts will be recognized for what you do. And that'll, little by little elevate you in the game and bring you up into, somewhere where you deserve to be.
Dope, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
You already know.
Teamwork.
Any
That's a
shout outs
great
while
way.
we wrap it up?
Man, shout out to everybody that supports Fiore and Cookies and me in general. Shout out to you guys. I fuck with the podcast. Thank you for what you guys are doing. I listen to it when I'm working, when I'm driving to work. And yeah, that's about it, man.
Shout out to the bros, man. Fidelity, Gas No Brakes.
Yeah, my brothers.
Yeah,
Pops,
man,
the whole damn crew, man. Everybody watching, everybody at home, man. For real. It's
Much
season
love.
4, episode 38. Surge from Fiore, Blackleaf, Pack Odds. We're checking out.
And we got some
Peace.
stuff coming.
Let's go.
Peace.
What's up? I want to take a second to talk about Grow Generation, the largest hydroponic retailer in the country. Over 60 stores nationwide. Go to growgeneration.com and enter in the code FIRSTSMOKE. Become a part of the family. Let's go where the pros go to grow.
Hey, calling all breeders and growers to the world's largest online seed bank, NeptuneSeedBank.com. Check out this. I got goodies from all the best breeders in the market. To go here and change your game in your garden, go to NeptuneSeedBank.com. You can get Blackleaf and you can get all the best breeders in the game. NeptuneSeedBank.com. First Smoke of the Day sent you.
Let's talk about Athena, one of the #1 nutrient companies in the world. Athena Nutrients. Blackleaf, tell them how you use IPM in your garden.
Athena IPM, one of the best products out right now for IPM management. This product passed testing for legal facilities and is what I use in my garden. Blackleaf approved, Athena IPM.
This product and all other products, AthenaAG.com. Go check them out. Appreciate you guys.
Yo, welcome to the Diamond Mine. The DiamondMine.LA, California source for boutique genetics. Powered by yours truly, Blackleaf. And you know what that means? That means I'm bringing my best genetics into this. I'm bringing stuff I've been hiding, harboring away, stuff I haven't wanted to let out. We're bringing all that into the DiamondMine.LA, and we're going to offer that to California. Go on our website, hit the newsletter, and see if you can rock with us. Get on board with some of our genetics and change your garden. The DiamondMine.LA, powered by Blackleaf.
We're here holding Power SI, and we want to talk a little bit about what this can do for your garden.
It's a game-changing product I use in my garden. Foliar, res feeds. I recommend it to all growers. This is a game changer.
Go to Power SI and enter in the code FIRSTSMOKE to get a discount. Yo, we're right here at TLC Collective, home of the Jungle Boys, where they've been playing with fire since 2006, right here in Los Angeles, California. It's at Jungle Boys on all social media, jungleboys.com, and if you want to see for yourself, come right here to TLC Collective, man. Let's check it out.